Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. So this is Farminopolis map. This is by Sleutjes Modding, DH Modding and LostGamer. It's 181.69 megabytes to download. The question has been asked, actually by a very good friend of mine, why would we still get maps released this close to FS22 being released? My argument to that, or my feeling on that, is if you were a set of map makers or a map maker and you've been working on your map, putting your passion, your sweat, your tears, hours and hours of work into making a map, and the deadline's coming up, FS22's coming out, are you going to get to a point where you stop and say, you know what, forget it, we won't bother? Or will you finish it and say, you know what, we did that, let's release it? I think the latter, personally. So, the fact is we've only got a week to go. I think, why not? Absolutely, why not? Anyway, the map looks like this. We do have some custom crops. We have black beans and we have sorghum added onto this map. On New Farmer, we start with this patch of land here with some animals on it, this patch of land here, and this little patch of land here where we start off. Field prices range from about 80 odd grand. I'm just trying to think, where was one of the 80 grand ones? There, 80. Up to, I think the most expensive one is Field 32 at 1.4 million, just over 1.4 million. There's no sleep trigger set on this map, interestingly. And when we come to look at the slot count, there are some custom mods that have been put in by the map maker. We'll talk about that when we do slot count, and that'll be when we get to the farm pens area. We've got a few sell points and things to go to before we get to that. What else did I want to say about the map before we move on? Nothing, I don't think. The additional crop types, the black beans and sorghum, can be planted using seeders or planters. Doesn't matter which one. Both will do the extra crops. If I go across, I get one. So there we go. Sorghum and black beans on the end. If we go up to planters, same thing there. If we go to one where we see everything, there we go. Sorghum and black beans can be planted with those. And as far as harvesting goes, regular harvester headers will do those crops as well. So nothing particularly major or worrying about those particular crop types. So this is the little plot we start on. And that was the thing I was going to show you as well. Yeah, up here at this plot where we start. Now, because there's no sleep trigger set, and you can obviously bring your own sleep trigger in and put them wherever you want, there's a lot of these little plots here, so you can buy up individual plots. If you don't want the one, obviously that's a little bit bigger, but if you don't want the one that's been given to you, there are some other plots you can buy here if you want to live in the town. But obviously you can buy bigger plots or just put a farmhouse or something out, or a sleep trigger out where all your animal pens are. So what I'm going to do is open the gate. We're going to start heading around the map and check everything out. That at least is the plan, and we know about plans and what happens when they come into contact with MrSealyp. Things don't always go particularly well, but we shall see. So, heading this way first, so heading east, we've got a vehicle workshop here. Now, you don't own this plot of land. You can buy it, but you can still use the trigger anyway, even if you don't own the plot of land. So we've got a workshop there. We've got Pioneer Sell Point, which we're going to have a look at in just a second, but there's also like a kind of a racetrack under construction. There's all the different buggy mods and things. I think Sleutjes Modding did a couple of them. I'm sure it was Sleutjes Modding did a couple of them. So we've got like a racetrack sort of thing set out here with all different lumps and bumps and water and all different things. So if you fancy doing a bit of racing with your friends, you absolutely can. Get a couple of the buggy mods and have a bit of a laugh. Why not? So Pioneer Sell Point. Come round up here. And cut through. We have to go back on ourselves, I think, to do the next one. Oh, go on the wrong way. Just through here. So, first of the sell points is here. Pioneer Sell Point under this cover. The sound effects all around the map are really good. With dryers, and there's hammering and vehicle noises and all sorts of stuff. It's, yeah, really nicely done. Can I cut straight across there? I don't know if the hedges have got collisions. I could do, I suppose. The next sell point, if I go to the map, we're here at Pioneer. If we come back out of Pioneer onto the road and back up, we've got Resend, which is the next one. But if I can cut down across that, it'll save me a bit of time. Yeah, we can. There we go. So, first of the sell points is here. Pioneer Sell Point under this cover. The sound effects all around the map are really good. With dryers, and there's hammering and vehicle noises and all sorts of stuff. It's, yeah, really nicely done. Can I cut straight across there? I don't know if the hedges have got collisions. I could do, I suppose. The next sell point, if I go to the map, we're here at Pioneer. If we come back out of Pioneer onto the road and back up, we've got Resend, which is the next one. But if I can cut down across that, it'll save me a bit of time. Yeah, we can. There we go. Oh, not so good. So the res end sell point is just here. And if we carry on around, go to the livestock market. Animal dealer. I always say livestock market. I suppose on different maps it's labelled as different things. Or is it always animal dealer? I refer to it as different things every time. I'm having an absolute mare. Why have I missed my turning? It was the one before. I thought it was too narrow, but it's not. It's that one. Just here. So just past here with our livestock market. There we go. For buying and selling all your livestock needs. And then we've got the Farminopolis market. That's just here. So quite a few all on sort of on top of each other really. And I think we can cut across the grass up here. Yeah, we'll be alright. We'll cut across the grass. And if we go straight up here, we've got the dairy station. And that's right up here. Tucked around there. So, we've taken in quite a few already. Pioneer, Res End, Animal Dealer, Farminopolis Market and Dairy Station. We're going to go back out to the main road and head down now. Main store and do a few on the way down. And we'll get round the map. What was I say? Oh yeah, the ground texture is that kind of red, the sort of Brazilian. I mean, it's a Brazilian map. That's the. I mean, think about it. It says the Farminopolis map is a map based on the Brazilian region located in Jataí, Goiás. I'm never quite sure if I say those things correctly. Apologies. The history of the small municipality of Farminopolis goes through a time of great expansion in agriculture, where the small town opens up to big business with new farmers arriving in the region. Be one of these farmers and create great businesses. Things like that, the bells at the church, and the view distance is pretty good looking out across there as well. Some of the factories, like a lot of Brazilian maps, are huge. I mean, colossal buildings and structures. So the main store is here, as you can see, massive open area. No problem with running big machinery on this map whatsoever. The reset point is here as well. Your buy point is just there. Your sell point, repair, customize point, it's actually there on the hazard mark bit, but the trigger is just there. We do have a ramp over here as well if you want to load things up onto flatbed, low loader type trailers, step decks, those kind of things. And then we are going across the road. Down just a little bit further. I think let's go just past this one. This sell point is Maciez, I think it is. That's how you say it. Nice Farminopolis sign there. Depends. I'm not quite sure what I'm using for my thumbnail yet. It might be that, might not. So sell point here. Maciez. This one is for bales and spinnery. So all things bales. You know, bales of wool, bales of cotton. And then bales, so it's bale sell point just here, and then just down from that we've got Brejão warehouse. It is Brejão. I was going to say, is it Brejão? Did I write it wrong? No, it's Brejão. But we'll check back on the map. So the sell point for that one's just down the side here. And now we're going to head south. We've got a bit of a drive, I think, to the next one. So we will cut in, there's nothing coming, and head south. The lighting's really nice on this as well. You get that thing where it's very dark and then it hits 6:30, like boom, it's like someone turns on a light switch. But you do get those lovely, like the sun shining through the trees. It's got a really nice look. Yeah. That's my personal opinion. I like it. I could have cataracts for all I know. I don't know. Yeah. I think it looks wonderful, and everyone's like, what is he talking about? Anyway, fuel station just here. And then from the fuel station, we cut around here. We've got potato Jataí. Now this is the root crop sell point. Got a bit of a slodgy bog here to get through. So this will do potatoes and sugar beet. on that sell point platform just there. I won't drive all the way around. And then from here we're going to head south down to the biogas plant. So as we head down towards the biogas plant, it's a standard biogas plant. It pays 360 for silage, 180 for slurry and manure, I think it is. So it's not, it doesn't do sugarcane, sugar beet, wood chip. It doesn't do anything over and above. And like I say, the sell price is I think it's 180 for both of those and 360 for silage. So it's not one that pays out, over and above a standard rate. And I think this was 450, we'll check it, 450 grand, something like that. 450 grand to buy, so we can use it. 2 large silage clamps to the side there, digestate pipe there for your byproduct, and your sell point just there. Now I'm going to cut across the field, and I probably shouldn't. I should go back onto the road and go back, but we're going to head straight across. We've got a bit of a drive now. And we're going to be heading to the first of 2 farm silos, and I want to talk about those when we get to the first one. You watch, it won't have done, or it will have done what I'm not expecting it to. Does that make sense? It will do when we get there. So like I say, we've got a bit of a drive from here. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll say we've been. So we went down from the dairy station, store, Massiege, Brescia warehouse. We came down there to the fuel point, Potato Jatai. Then we came out of there, down the side of that one here, to the biogas plant. Biogas plant was, 455, 490, so 450 grand, thereabouts. We're now going to head across the bottom. It's a bit of a drive until we get to this silo there. I say it's weird because as we drive, if I check on this map here and we go across, you see where it says silos owned and silos other, they're blank. There's nothing showing there at all. It's not showing that we have anything in silos, that we own any silos or anything like that. So I was a bit puzzled. Both plots of land you can buy, so I tried buying them. Buying them made no difference either. So I thought, oh, maybe it's one of those situations where you need to own the land before it will show up the silo and it will show that you've got anything in them. But it didn't make any difference. I bought the land on there's another silo further up we'll get to. So this is the first of them. This holds 5 million litres. I don't think I read that incorrectly. I'm sure I counted the zeros. 5 million litres, regular crop types, and it does potatoes and sugar beet as well. Does it do sugar cane? I can't remember. But it's not a multi-fruit. It won't do everything, if you kind of get my drift. Now, we're going to head north now, up towards the first of the animal pens that you start with on New Farmer. Like I say, we'll talk about slot counts when we get to the vehicles, but you only start with the animal pens on New Farmer. You don't have the animal pens on Farm Manager or Start from scratch, which is a bit of a problem. Again, something I will talk about when we look at the slot counts and the mods that the mappers have added in. Now, each of the animal pens is surrounded by barbed wire fencing, which has collisions. But the other thing I was going to point out as we get to here, these entryways are very narrow. So if you're going to be bringing feed and stuff down for your animals and you're using slightly larger tractors or a tractor you've put twins on, or you might struggle to get down here, some of the feed points and some of the slurry points are quite tight, which again you'll see in a little while, so it might be a little bit tricky. So the cow pen here, our dialogue box is here for our cows. This will hold 50 cows. We can open this here. I think this is the bedding for putting your bedding in. Water trough is just there. Feed trough is down through there. We've got our slurry point there. As we carry on down through here, we've got milk point and manure point just there. Everything seems to be fairly straightforward. I think I'm right about the bedding. I'm pretty sure that would be the bedding point, and the feed trough. Yeah, I mean that looks to be about right. So we have come from here up the side, across the top, and down into that narrow gap. We're going to head out now to the rest of the farm. Now, like I say, because there's no sleep trigger attached, I know often I'll say, I like that personally because it gives you the option to do it however you want. If you're going for a kind of narrative, you've just moved to the area, you might have bought yourself a little home up in the town, and you're going to work up to buying a farm. I like that as an option. I know it's not for everyone. Some people do prefer to have a sleep trigger there already. They don't want to have to muck around, you know, putting modded ones in and stuff like that. You know, I suppose it's that situation that you can't please everyone. Sometimes when they're on a map and they're fixed, people don't like that either, because then they can't take them out and put them where they want. So as a map maker, what do? You know, what's your best option? Right, we have to drive all the way around the outside of this one as well, because like I say, they're all fenced in. As you just saw, water trough just there. That is the sheep water trough. That will save me having to walk over to it and show it to you in a little while. Remember that, write that on a piece of paper. That's the sheep water trough. So we come into the yard. We have a ramp there for loading or unloading as well, if you want to use it. So here's our shed with all the start equipment. So now's the time probably to talk about slot counts. On New Farmer, it's 608 out of 1299. Seems weird saying that within a week I won't be saying 1299 anymore. It'll be much higher, which is going to be quite impressive. So what do we start with? Well, we start with the Stara ST Max 105, John Deere 6135M, Massey Ferguson Activa 7347S, the pickup that I'm driving. We've got a Fortschritt trailer, header for the harvester, and a corn header. We have got seeder and planter. Was that a cultivator? Yeah, that's a cultivator, isn't it? Yeah, because it does grass and oilseed radish, but it does canola too. Then we've got fertiliser and herbicide sprayer, and we've got our header trailer. Now this is where things get a little bit odd, so just be aware of this. The cow pasture we just looked at holds 50, so I won't do these amounts again. The pig enclosure we're going to look at does 100, the sheep does 80, and the horses do 8. There's also a water station, radio tower, fences, and ramp, which are all there. Now these have all been put in by the map maker. Now if you come onto here on Farm Manager or start from scratch, you don't start with anything. None of this, no pens, nothing at all. The slot count comes down from 608 to 443. There's a but though, and it's a big but. Normally I like big butts, but not this one, because if I go into animal pens and we go across, those modded animal pens aren't here. They're not available to replace. So if you come onto a Farm Manager and start from scratch, those pens aren't there, but it's not even like you can put them in. I also tried buying the plots of land, because I thought, oh, maybe I need to buy the plots of land, then they'll show up. They didn't. So if you're not bothered about that, you want to place other ones, or you've got modded ones you want to place, that's not going to be an issue at all. But if you wanted to use the ones specific to the map, that could be a bit of a problem. The other thing you might notice as well is there's no thing here for farmhouses. So whilst there's no sleep trigger to start with, there's not even the standard in-game one there. So what I did try off camera was I installed one of the modded ones. I think it was the pillow, the sleep trigger pillow. That category then appeared. So it's not, the category is not there at all, and you can't put a sleep trigger in. You absolutely can, but you just have to install a modded one. That's all if you want to have a sleep trigger put in. Right. So everything is fairly tightly packed in the building here, but you can get it all out and use it, unless you come into one other game modes. Like I said, the radio towers there, you might not want that. You know, there's a few different options you can go for. So as far as animals go, I was going to do this one first, wasn't I? Yeah. I went the wrong way. So this one is our pigs. Dialogue box is just there. Feed trigger is down the side here. Manure point is there. But as you see, when I said about triggers, come all the way down here, this is your slurry one. Now that's pretty narrow. So you're not going to get away, whilst the map generally you can have big machinery, it's not, you're not going to get away with it here. The water trough is over this side, but as far as bedding, that's the only trigger left. So I would, an educated guess, I would say that's going to be where your bedding goes in for your pigs. Coming across to here, just past the ramp, we have got again a bedding area, feed trigger, and this is for your horses. So for your 8 horses is just here. Now I'm not sure. Oh no, that was what the water trough was, this side. There we go. So the water trough for the horses is that side. And then if we come back out of there and just over here, the next trigger there is for your sheep. So your sheep one's there, your feed trigger's there, your wool pallets will spawn on this one, and your water trough, the one we came past on the way in, is just over there. So that's all of those. But like I say, you know, it's a fairly flat area. So if you buy this without the pens available, if you come onto on Farm Manager or start from scratch, I wouldn't think it would be a problem being able to place other pens down if you wanted to. The same with if you wanted to put a little shed type farmhouse sleep trigger. I mean, there are so many available now. You know, you can pick and choose pretty much what you want to go for. Same with water. And there are water troughs, stand pipes, you know, you name it, water tanks, water towers, so many available. You don't really have to worry about water, not like you used to on, you know, FS19 and especially 15. That was really important. So we are heading north again to the second of the silos. So this is another 500,000 litre silo. Again, you don't own the land, but you can buy the land. Again, it doesn't seem to make any difference. The difference between the two silos is this one actually has crops in it. Now, sometimes you get maps and on the silos they do. So we'll go back into here again, go across one. If I scroll all the way across, left and right, I'm right at the top. There's nothing showing at all. And even, like I say, when I bought the plot, it didn't come up saying, oh, okay, now you own that silo, there's 12,500 litres of wheat in there, or still didn't show. So we've got 10 million litres worth of capacity for, unless they're joined, of course. That did say 5 million, but if that's linked to the other one, it could be 5 in total. But that's still 5 million litres, isn't it? That's not too much of a worry. Right, so next point we're coming to is the sugarcane mill, and this place is massive. I mean, absolutely huge, but also very cool. Really well modded, really nicely detailed. So Usina Farminopolis. Before we actually get to the sell point, we have got a buy point tucked around the corner. The buy point is down as Vinas, I think it is. And the two things I've managed, I checked, there might be other things you can buy. I did try liquid fertiliser and herbicide, but you couldn't. But you can buy manure and slurry just here. So this is a buy point for manure and slurry. It wouldn't let me do digestate either, so I think it's just those two as far as I can tell. And then the actual sell point for the sugarcane factory. I mean, the detailing on everything is brilliant. I like the kind of rust effect and, you know, the weathering side of things. It looks really good. So the sell point is just across here. These massive piles of sugarcane and yeah, it's great. It's really good. I will back up, I think. Right then, from here, actually, no, we'll check the map again. Why not? Doesn't hurt. So from there, we just went north, up past that silo, carried on to this facility here. Vinas is there. Sugarcane mill we've just come from. So we come out of there. We're going to head across now, just past field 4. And we're going to be heading out to the lime station, gramill, and sawmill. Second wrong turning. Yup. Been doing that a lot lately. I don't know how many people are going to watch this video. I don't know, you know, if anyone's going to be interested at all. I did mention in my last Attingham Park, and I think I might have even mentioned it on my SnowRunner video. There was a tweet today, a blog post tweet by Giants, the community coordinators. Chucky put up a post, the old Monday motivation post, but also saying that there's a week to go and that anybody getting early access to the game will be able to post videos or stream from the weekend, this weekend coming up. So I think Friday is when early access begins. So over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there'll be early access content being shared by content creators Now, for the first time, and I'm really hoping it happens, now I'm saying it, for the first time, and I've been doing this 6+ years now, since FS15, because Giants are self-publishing this time, I got a message from Lars, saying they're going to send me a console key early, which they've never been able to do before. So I'm going to get a key, hopefully Friday, for console. So from Friday I should be able to put up content. I know normally it's a bit difficult. I know sometimes they do streams over the course of the week leading up to the game, a new game being released, and I know console gamers are often asked questions during those live streams and want to know about the console side of things. So I'll be able to put some stuff up. There'll be some early access stuff specifically for console. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, it'll be really cool. This I noticed on my way in straight away. The reflection on the pond is absolutely the reflection of what's around it. And often you get that kind of hazy, ripply effect, and sometimes you get reflections in the side of vehicles and things, and it's a generic, you know, when you look at the reflection, it's not actually what's being reflected. But that's actually reflecting what's around it. That's amazing. Loving that. So, Lime Station, as with a lot of the South American maps, Brazilian maps we've had recently, most of them somewhere on there will have a big quarry like this, which will be the lime point. I've probably driven in the wrong way, but it doesn't matter. Lots of lovely detail around here, and the buy point for your lime is just there. So what we're going to do is head back out of here, go to the last two, Gramil and the sawmill. There's a bit of flickering going that way, I just noticed, but then as soon as I turned, it's good. I like that. I think that's brilliant. So, off to Gramil, which is another one of the main sell points on the map. It's not a specific one. The dairy station is for your milk, and obviously the potato jatai is for your root crops, and there's the bales and spinnery. Pretty much the rest of them are all kind of main sell points that take pretty much everything. So, out to Gramil, and that's tucked around the back. And when we head down to the sawmill, that one's got me a little bit confused, because on the description on the Farming Simulator website mod hub, it says that the sawmill is for lumber and wood chips. Well, we'll get to that in a second, but anyway, so the sell point's just here. Through here for Gramil. I do like the fact it's like little things like this, the grain bags on the ground. You know, it doesn't need to be there. It's, you know, it's put in. It adds that just another level of immersion. It just makes it feel a little bit more real. You know, I suppose that's what immersion means, doesn't it? But you know what I mean. Right then, from here to the sawmill. In my mind, I'm already thinking about. I'm wondering what the first modded map's going to be on FS22. Who's going to be the first one there? With a modded map, but also doing map tours. Wow, that's going to be getting a lot more complicated with all the production chain things and everything that's being included now. Yeah, hadn't actually dawned on me until just now. Until doing this, I'm suddenly thought, whoa, potentially, unless any more maps come out this week, next time I do a map tour, could be a whole different ball game. So, sawmill. This is the sawmill. Normally you have a lumber sell point that has a little disc, and you drop your lumber and, you know, click on it, or do it directly from the trailer, and then you have your wood chip sell point, which is separate. The wood chip sell point is round here, just there. If I go onto the menu and we go across and I go down to sawmill, if I click on tag, that's where it's saying the sell point is for the sawmill. So potentially that could be where both get sold, because I can't find the little disc or a point where the lumber might be sold. I did think it was between all those piles of wood back there, but there's, like I said, there's no... Oh, hang on, is it through there? There it is. Cool, that's tucked away. Right, it's here. So that's where the trigger is. There's not a marked... Is there a marked area for putting the lumber? Do these doors open? I don't think they do. That's interesting. So the trigger is there. It's just where you're supposed to put your lumber. I'm not too sure. Have I driven over a marked area and not noticed? I mean, that is, of course, incredibly likely. Or is it just straight through here? It might just be on this bit here. Bring it through onto here. That seems most likely, I guess. And then the trigger's just there. Oh, there we go. That solved that problem. And that is the map. That's Farminopolis by Sleutjes Modding, DH Modding and LostGamer. We go back to that and the main map. So we started off in that top corner, did our route down, all the way down there, biogas plant, across, up past the animals, up there and did that section, out around there, down to the sawmill. And that's it. Hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.